Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are gonna do a video on how to save money. These are just like small ways that you can save money. They aren't like, we're not gonna go into like investing and whatever. We're just gonna do like different things to add into your life to save more money. These are all things that I have actually done and used. So tip number one is all to do with change. I know a lot of people don't use cash anymore, but if you do have cash, something I've been doing for a long time is I take all the change and I would put it into literally like a piggy bank or like a jar, and I would kind of just forget about it. So I'd just constantly be dumping my change into this jar. And then when it got full, I would either bring it to like one of those, do they even have these anymore? Those machines where you like dump the change into and then it gives you bills. Or you can just roll it, take it to the bank. A lot of the time you end up with like, you know, hundreds of dollars or at least $100 in change, which is just like money that you otherwise probably wouldn't have thought about, you know what I mean? I still do this. I have a change jar that I like have all the time, and I just constantly dumping change into it. Two is budgeting. I've always had a budget. My mother made me have a budget like my whole life, especially in university. She had everything budgeted out for me so that I wouldn't be an idiot with money. I think just having like a general idea of your budget, where you can spend, you know, so you know how much you're gonna have at the end of the month, is just really important. It's important to like look at your finances a lot and just have a very good understanding of what's going on. So creating some sort of budget for yourself doesn't have to be super strict. Although I have friends who did that. One of my friends, Leva, I remember in university, she was so good with her budget. We would come home from the bar drunk and she would bring out her binder, and then she would have all of her receipts of all the drinks that she bought, and she would literally put it into her budget. If you can be like that, that's amazing. I was asleep when I got home from the bar. So either have a really strict budget or have a like, you know, just somewhat of an idea. Just either way, don't just not have anything. Number three is, I mean, I've had a job since I was 14. So this has been happening since I was 14. I had an automatic transfer set up in my bank account where a portion of my paycheck would be taken off and then put into a savings account. And it kind of goes into my next point, which is have a high interest savings account. So you are making money on the money. But every time my paycheck would go in, I would take a portion of it off and it would go into savings, and then I wouldn't touch my savings. It's a great way to do it. Again, it's just something that you're not thinking about. It's just happening automatically. And over time, you know, that money does add up. Tip number five is have a high interest savings account. Because if you're gonna have money, you might as well make money on that money. Although, you know, high interest savings accounts are a little harder to come by. But when I was in high school, I had a very good one. I do have investing as the next tip. I think you need to figure out what you want to invest in. I can't tell you what to invest in, but whether that, you know, be the market, whether that be real estate, whether that, you know, there's lots of different things that you can put your money into, but investing in something and, you know, buying something that is eventually going to have a return is always better than just buying something that, you know, isn't gonna have any return. Number six is RRSP. This is maybe called a 401k in the States. I also have no idea what a 401k is. But in Canada, it's a registered retirement savings plan. Again, I've had one of these since I was 18 and I have always been putting money into it. So I kind of, I guess, always knew that I wasn't gonna have a job that would, you know, I would have some sort of pension. So I was always very aware that like, I'm gonna have to have my own pension. This is an account that you can't take money out of, or you are like taxed on the money, and you do have a penalty. You get a penalty if you take out the money, if it's not for retirement or for your first home. Those are the two things that you can use the money for. And it's only, I think you can only use up to like 35,000 on your first home or something like that. Like there are limitations on the first home. But for me, having money put into an account that I literally cannot touch has been very helpful for me. Because even when I didn't have any money, I couldn't touch that money. So it's like locked away until I retire. Will I retire? I don't know. Number 7 is avoid debt if possible. You know, there is such thing as good debt, I guess, like owning a home and stuff, but I'm talking mainly about credit card debt. Just make sure that what you're putting on your credit card, you are able to pay off. Again, I'm speaking from experience here. I definitely have, you know, put more on my credit card than I actually could afford. And then you're paying credit card fees that you don't need to pay. And it's just a waste of money. If you can't pay your credit card that month, you get hit with all these fees and then you're just giving the credit card company money that you don't need to give them. So make sure you're budgeting and try to avoid debt. Although I do think paying for things on credit cards can be good because you can collect points better than a debit card, but just make sure that you're doing it in a way that's responsible. Number 8 is something that I think, I mean, if you're not looking at your finances, can kind of just get lost, but it's your automatic subscriptions. I sometimes will just like go through and see what I've automatically subscribed to. Did I forget a 30-day free trial? Did I forget to cancel that? All of that stuff. You know, if you don't know that you have it and you're not using it, could be a waste of money. But then on the flip side, having automatic bill payments for your hydro, for your credit card, to make sure that you're paying those things on time. I always forgot, especially because they're all on different dates. So I just set up like all of my bills to have automatic payments, so I know I'm never missing the date and I'm never paying those overage charges. Unsubscribe from the like sales emails that you get triggered by. Owning a clothing company, this is not a good tip to give you, but if you're very triggered to just buy unnecessary things, buy emails and that sort of stuff, like just unsubscribe to them, or make sure that they're going into a folder that like you don't look at and you don't see, because you know, you're just buying things that you probably don't need. I think Instagram ads can also be pretty triggering. I bought pillow slides off an Instagram ad. I bought a sunset lamp off an Instagram ad. So make sure you're thinking about purchases as well as unsubscribing to those emails. And number 10, which is still my biggest crux, buying food. Try to pack your lunch at least 3 times a week. I can't say that I do this, but I know my mom said when she was, you know, at the beginning when I was a baby and she just became a single mom, she was like, I needed to save money, and I wanted, specifically, I know she wanted a cleaner because she didn't feel that she had time to clean, but she couldn't afford it. So one of the things that she did in order to be able to reallocate her money was to pack her food all the time so that she wasn't like spending all this money on coffee, on lunch and dinner. She was like actually making it at home, which is obviously cheaper than eating out. Those are my 10 tips on saving money. If you have a good tip to save money or something that you've used to save money, comment down below. I'd love to hear it. Thanks so much for watching. Love you all. Peace and love. Bye.